Well, welcome in, everybody. It's about 4 o'clock on Thursday, February the 4th, and we continue to look at a well-advertised plunge into an Arctic air mass as we go towards next week. Now, there's plenty of weather to keep track of as you go through the next 4 to 5 days, but we're really temperatures only in the single digits there across North Dakota, and pretty rare for it to this type of air mass to drop this far southeast, or at least it's supposed to as we go into next week. There is a historical precedent for this, and it is one, I showed this yesterday. January 2010, you've got troughing to the east of Arkansas, a ridge of high pressure sets up over the west, and the flow out of Canada, just unimpeded, right down to the southeast is a good recipe for the eastern half of the U.S. to get below average temperatures. And when you get below average temperatures in the winter, well, that's a good recipe for some very, very cold weather. So here's look at these temperatures in central Arkansas. 7:30 Thursday, 35 in Little Rock, 33 in Searcy. That's a small margin for error. And remember, we're mainly watching for freezing rain.
But we're going to be down into the range, 30 or below, where untreated roads, secondary roads, they'll become icy. I know there's a lot of treating going on from the highway department, but travel will become difficult if there's enough of that sub 30-degree air and heavy rainfall. And I think that will happen in a few spots, most notably in this ice storm area here. But I'm going to get a little maybe pop up above freezing in a few spots by tomorrow afternoon. We're not done, though. Next weather maker, I'm going to show you on Sunday night and into Monday. There's early Monday morning. That's a big band of snow coming through. We haven't had snow in a long time. I know it's a long way out there. We're concentrating on the ice, but that's going to be our next focus, Sunday night into Monday of next week.
We've even had thunder sleet in a few places. One woke me up this morning, and maybe you've heard that too. Temperatures, a lot of them slipping down to the upper 20s, which is where we start to see problems on the roadways. And James has a look at that right now. James?
Yeah, and really, no matter how much precipitation you get, even if it's very light, maybe it's a little heavier, if temperatures are in the mid to upper 20s, you're going to see big issues on the roadways. That's been the case in Pulaski County this morning, and even back towards the northwest in Conway County, Perry County, Faulkner County, and then up into Cleburne County as well. Issues on the roads are there. That's where the air is the coldest. On the southern end of that, take a look at this 7-day forecast. Do we live in Little Rock? The temperatures near the low 30s for the next several days, 20s, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and chances for snow really good late Sunday into Monday.
And pictures you sent in from yesterday, we're going to have more opportunities for pictures coming up. But let me show you a couple. Yesterday, even though it was ice and we weren't too crazy about that, it was great for sledding. And look at that one behind a four-wheeler.
Weather is our top story for the next several days, period.
We are in the stretch.
I haven't put together a long-range forecast like this since the start of my career when I started in Missoula, Montana. For 2 years. I spent 2 years up there. I haven't done this in Little Rock.
Right.
So we have a winter storm warning for the entire state, but this is just storm number 1. And odds are that we see more winter weather headlines as we go towards the middle of the week. And, of course, we'll tell you more about that. How about this? The entire state of Texas under some sort of winter weather headline. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi as well. Don't see that too often. It is a bit of a rare sight to see. Tomorrow, we'll start the day in the teens. We'll stay cloudy. Snow more likely later in the day for central Arkansas, earlier out west. And then once we get the snow out of here, we talk about some dangerous cold. It's with us already, but wind chills Monday morning down to single digits. And I think Tuesday morning, with snow on the ground, I think the wind chills could get below zero across a large part of the state. One last look at the timing on tomorrow's snow. I think it holds off till noon for Little Rock, and it's patchy and light at first. North and west of Little Rock, that's when most of the snow falls Sunday night into Monday, and then the second wave gets south central and eastern Arkansas during the day. On Monday, it winds down by the time you get to early Monday afternoon. Hour by hour for Little Rock tomorrow, very cold. One of our coldest daytime highs in the last 30 years. Chances for snow go up afternoon and especially after 6 o'clock. Take a look at this 7-day forecast. Incredible. We got 4 or 5 more days below freezing. And take a look at Monday. If we have a high in the teens, that is the coldest daytime high if we have that high of 19 since December of 1989. Another chance of snow Wednesday into Thursday. Shelby, you're going to want to keep it on Channel 7 all week.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to a special Channel 7 News weather update. We have a big snowstorm on the way for Arkansas. Barry, it's the first one in several years. We have not seen a widespread accumulating snow like this in a long time. We have seen a little bit of snow so far, and a lot of that's north of Little Rock right now. But you're outside in it. It's somewhere I would not want to be right now. It is cold.
You know, it is cold, but it's so beautiful out here. And the wind, at least right where I am, is not all that strong. But folks, let me just tell you, the roads got slick in a hurry. And I know, James, you probably saw this. Right when it started, there's no melting. It is accumulating everything. And James, did you notice this? The shape of the snowflakes changed quite a bit. And it really looks different a lot of times. I know we had some sleet, but sometimes it was just little plates of snow crystals, and that's because it doesn't generally snow when it's this cold here in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, temperatures are in the teens, and tonight, maybe low teens. This is not something, I don't think I've ever seen this in my time here. You're obviously a little bit more experienced than me. Anytime in the last 20, 30 years that we've seen this in Arkansas, in central Arkansas, I guess in North Arkansas it'd be a little bit different.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there have been times that it was cold. We get our biggest snows, though, when it's up around 32 degrees. I remember back in 1988, it was 33 degrees a lot of the time, and it snowed a foot here. But we do get precipitation when it's cold. I don't think the kind of precipitation that we're seeing here and the potential for numerous inches of snow and this cold. But this certainly is
I think we're 4 days now where we've been below freezing. Real quick, before we get into pictures so far, talk a little bit about the history. Where I'm doing the math. Little Rock could go 9 days below freezing, and other parts of the state could be even longer than that. That's going to be up, I think, in the top 5 longest stretches since the 1870s. So regardless of if this snow is historic for your location, we're in a historical stretch this week.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to mention. It's going to snow, whether it snows 3 inches or 5 inches or 6 or 7 or 8 in your spot, and then we get another batch on Wednesday. It's all going to accumulate, and that's going to make roads bad for a long time. I know when they treat the roadways here, sometimes when it's down to the teens, that just doesn't work at all. Chemicals can only lower the melting point of water so much. And yeah, I think it's going to be, one of the longest stretches that I've ever seen here. I mean, I know 1983 all across the middle part of the country was horrible. We were down below freezing for a lot of days. But this is a stretch I don't think we can underscore it enough. I mean, there are going to be pipes that freeze. There are going to be roads that are slick for a long time. And it's just something, just make sure you have a good, reliable heat source as good as you can now that it's already started. But don't take this lightly, and don't go outside if you just really don't have to.
Downtown, snow continues to fall. There's a look at the Capitol. Temperatures, 18 degrees in Little Rock. Wind chills right now. Yeah, take a good look. 5 at Little Rock, below 0 up north. So because of that, wind chill advisories have been posted for much of Arkansas, but wind chill warnings are in effect in northern Arkansas. All that means is that basically wind chills are going to be getting down to dangerous levels. Look at tomorrow morning. Most of the state dealing with wind chills that are going to be below 0. Our low temperature tonight, actual low, gets down to 12. That's going to be the coldest low temperature in 3 years. And then tomorrow, I think we may only get back to 17 degrees for the high. That's the coldest high temperature since 1989. Most of the heavy snow is in the morning hours. And look at this 7-day forecast. Unbelievable. We stay below freezing until Friday. That could be a top 5 stretch all time. We have been below freezing for 4 days already. We'll watch that next chance for snow late Tuesday through early Thursday, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Like it's bitterly cold. We said every snowflake would stick to the roads and stick to everything once it started falling. Nothing would melt. Look at the roads. Right now, they're actually, you can get a little traction on the roads right now. There's a layer of ice, obviously. Roads are passable. They're slick, but they're only going to get worse.
Yeah, we'll get to James in just a second. But let me just tell you, folks, this is going to be a prolonged period below freezing. It's going to be 2 storm systems coming this way. So let's get right to it with James and the timing of what's going to happen. It's already started snowing, James.
Yeah, Barry, we've been in a little bit of a lull here with lighter snow in Little Rock, but snow beginning to fill back into the west. You can really see it when you zoom out from eastern Oklahoma into northeast Texas. That's when the snow is kind of filling in, and this is the next wave of snow. You'll notice there's more of a lull behind that, but there's the next wave in southern Texas that's going to rotate up through Arkansas early tomorrow. We're not going to be done with this until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. So plenty of snow to go. That round I just told you about entering the state moves from west to east over the next few hours, by midnight making it into Little Rock, and then that will exit off to the northeast by 3 or 4 a.m. And then we start talking about the next round. It's going to be heavier. It arrives from the south, maybe mixed with a little sleet in southeast Arkansas, but for most of the state, this is an all-snow event. Now, you get to 6 a.m., and that's when most of the heavy snow really begins to take shape, especially in the Little Rock area, points south and points east. I think this round will impact most of the state. However, I think amounts northwest of Little Rock with this round will be lighter. With this round, 6 to 10 a.m., heavier east and south of Little Rock, possibly even including the Little Rock area. And by noon, we're wrapping up, and I think by the middle of the afternoon, we are done with snow, at least for round one. For round one, snowfall totals look like this. Keep in mind, this includes what's on the ground, 3 to 5 inches over west central, northwest, north central Arkansas, but along the I-30 corridor, 67 north, 5 to 8 inches. Isolated higher amounts will definitely be possible. We may see a little bit of thunder snow in eastern Arkansas tomorrow, and if you get under one of those heavier bands, it would not surprise us at all to see some higher amounts in that area of snow. So, snow more likely in the first half of the day, temperatures in the low teens. Pretty rare to see that here. It will taper off during the afternoon hours. Impacts to travel, that's where they are the highest. I think the power grid going to be okay. This is not ice. This is not freezing rain. Power outages should be limited. This is mainly a high impact travel event, not just because of the snow tomorrow, but it also, Todd, we have another winter storm to talk about right behind this one.
James, it is so incredibly rare to have a statewide snowstorm followed by yet another one just a couple of days later. But I think that's going to happen. As they say, buy one, get one free, right? This one's coming, I think, on the Tuesday night and a Wednesday morning. First of all, Tuesday's looking dry. This is Futurecast. Tuesday is going to be just nasty cold outside. Then the snow, the next round of snow comes in. And the confidence level on this is very high. Exactly where the heaviest snow sets up, not quite there just yet. But by Wednesday morning, we're looking at another round of significant snow.
Stay there in the early afternoon. We cannot skip over the cold weather. Very important, dangerous cold out there. We got down to 10 at Little Rock. It's 11 right now. That's the coldest temperature since January 2018. Wind chills well below zero. So we do have wind chill advisories and wind chill warnings that are in effect. All that this means is you really don't want to be caught outside. Now, Melinda, we've got this dangerous cold setting in after the snow leaves. Really, it's already here. But we also have winter storm number 2 to keep our eye on.
That's right, James, because when you've got this cold air in place, any moisture that would have normally, in another February been rain comes down as snow. So let me show you Futurecast, and this is winter storm number 2, and this is ahead looking at Tuesday night, kind of late in northwest Arkansas. Mainly most of this snow moves through on Wednesday. There it is at 7:30 in the morning. Probably another day when we've got snow-covered roads. We probably haven't even melted everything from this winter storm we're seeing now.
Middle of the snow that we are experiencing, that we have expected now for the last couple of days. Meteorologist James Bryant and meteorologist Melinda Mayo both in studio. Melinda, I know this is something you guys have focused on, and now that we are here at the actual main course, as we've called it, yesterday was the appetizer. What are you expecting as we move through these morning hours?
Yeah, just really unprecedented that we have had this kind of cold air, and it's going to stay in place for not just this round of snow, but the next round that's going to be coming in later on this week. So something we don't see very often here in Arkansas for sure. And the rates of snow have been increasing over the last hour. Let me show you a storm scan, because this is coming down at about 1 inch, or even in some places maybe 1.5 inches per hour. So last night, I know it wasn't so impressive with 1 inch, 1.5 inches on the ground, but we are adding up as we go through the morning hours. Heavy snow here in Little Rock, where you're seeing those pink returns in southeast Arkansas. That is even heavier, and that's moving into areas like Arkansas County and Deshay County and Phillips County there in far eastern Arkansas. Meantime, Meantime, on the western side of the state, you see where it goes from purple to blues. That's indicating that the snow is getting a little bit lighter in western Arkansas. We can see the back edge there moving through eastern Texas and Oklahoma. So that'll be the end of this round. But let's get to James. He's keeping a close eye on radar for us as well.
Yeah, Melinda, before we do that, I want to pull up the camera that's looking at the I-30 River Bridge. The snow continues to get heavier, and how you know that is visibility. Look at the bridge. You can barely see it. Snow coming down heavily. It is slow going on there as you look at the bridge across the Arkansas River. We'll go back to radar. It's just cold. This morning it got down to 10 degrees. That's our coldest low temperature in about 3 years. And Melinda, there's a chance that we get even colder as we go through the next morning. And look at wind chills this morning, below zero across much of the state. It's been a long time since we've seen this, Chris. If you got to be outside, our advice goes without saying, bundle up.
We of course know that we have essential workers out there who do have to be outside or at least get out in the traffic and drive to their job today. And we want to make sure that you know what to expect before you head out the door. We're on iDrive Arkansas, and they're showing basically the entire state. Every major interstate and highway has some form of winter precipitation on it, whether it be snow, which is most of the state, or even ice. That's going to be on Interstate 40 from Brinkley over to this snowstorm. For example, this is Interstate 530 just to the south of US 270 in Pine Bluff. And look at that. We should be able to see close to a half a mile on this camera. Typically, we can hardly see 100 feet as those cars approach it. How about just to the west of there? This is the Malvern Rockport exit on Interstate 30. Take a look at this. It is covered up this morning over there. We can't even hardly see the exit signs. Now moving a little bit.
Get lucky. 10 degrees right now in Little Rock. Dangerous cold around the metro area. North Little Rock sitting at 7, Beebe at 10, Searcy at 9. You look at wind chills around the state this morning. Many areas are below zero. Little Rock's wind chill has now risen to a balmy 0 degrees. Wind chill advisories and wind chill warnings are in effect for a large part of the state. All it means is it's going to be very cold as we go towards the next couple of days, and it's dangerous to be outside if you're not dressed properly. And hey, Melinda and I just made a change to the forecast as we look at tonight. I think we're going to clear out and temperatures will fall. 0 degrees tonight. It's going to be the coldest low temperature since 1989 and our latest single-digit reading since 1936. Chris?
Not a record we want.
Yet, Alex Birch is live on Financial Center Parkway with an update for us on what it looks like there. I mean, really, it looks beautiful as it's coming down around you, but I know it's causing some problems for cars.
Yeah, and Allison, you can see right behind me, we have a car that's stuck on Shackelford Road. They have been stuck for a few minutes now. They can't make it up the hill. Now, this is one of several cars we've seen have this same issue because it's been more than 2 hours since the plow has come up Shackelford.
We're trying to keep it above zero, but we just couldn't. It just looks like we'll be down there, if not in the negative numbers in some areas. Hey, I was just looking at Chime In, some of the new photos that have been coming in, and I said, hey, we know that girl. That's Allison's daughter. That is Berkeley. They were out sledding yesterday. Great picture there, pretty in pink, and I'm sure all the kiddos will be back out there again this morning. Southeast Arkansas. Today's high only in the teens. Areas of morning snow will continue, but I think around lunchtime, 1 to 2 o'clock, we're going to see this just about coming to an end. A north wind, though, at 10 to 15 will continue to be breezy, so that wind chill will continue. Wow, I don't think I've ever said this. 0 for temperature low tonight. Wind chills below 0 then, and then we'll see those 20s sticking around through Wednesday. Finally, Thursday, we should hit 30 degrees, but still not above freezing until we get to Friday. We'll get some sunshine by then.
And we'll show you real camera video from all around the metro, thanks to the Department of Transportation. This is the Interstate 30 viewpoint. Alexander exit, and you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, visibility extremely low as that traffic makes its way towards the Pulaski County line. Slow-moving traffic this morning. And we've been looking around the metro for areas that could be troublesome. For example, let's talk about this. This is going to be the 430 area. Okay, so this is 430 at Cantrell. And of course, that's a steep hill. We don't have video beyond this point. We're currently to the south of the overpass of Cantrell Road, but you can see the traffic
negative numbers for those wind chills. So bundle up if you're going out to do any work or play today. James?
Well, Melinda, we're in the middle of a historic winter stretch. We've been below freezing for 5 days We might have 4 more to go. We had an ice storm last week, sleet with that, and now a snowstorm. The latest report from Maumelle is 6 inches, and it's looking like 5 to 6 inches is the general consensus across the metro area, and 1 to 2 additional inches are going to be possible. It's just a widespread good snow for the state of Arkansas. Now, as you look at regionally, what's going to happen over the next couple of hours, snow's going to begin coming to an end. As you get towards 10 a.m., it'll start pulling off to the northeast, and by early afternoon, it is gone. And then skies will actually clear out a little bit, and we will really get cold tonight. 5 to 8 inches of snow still expected to be the final tally along the I-30 corridor and points off to the northeast. A couple isolated amounts not out of the question, but that was our forecast last night. It is coming true this morning. Melinda looked at temperatures. It's brutal out there. Wind chills well below 0 in northern Arkansas. For that reason, wind chill warnings and wind chill advisories are in effect. Tonight's low, we're going with a low temperature of 0. That is the latest single-digit reading. Most of those in our climate record are earlier than February 15th. Most of those, it's the latest single-digit reading since 1936. 0 would be the coldest temperature at Little Rock since 1989. And wind chills tomorrow morning with those kinds of temperatures going to be well below 0 in the entire state. And that is not going to be fun. If you've got to be outside tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., man, you got to bundle up. And hey, we didn't even get to talking about our second winter storm. That's coming up here shortly. Chris?
That we're seeing than this right here. This is going to be an accident that will cause all sorts of delays, and it is unfortunately impacting travelers who are stuck right now. This is the 630 on-ramp merging onto Interstate 30 eastbound. You want to avoid this at all costs. Take a look on your screen. That is traffic that is at a complete standstill, waiting for this accident to be cleared. It's on the on-ramp, which goes from 2 lanes to 1 and is surrounded by 2 concrete barriers, and it is blocking those 2. There is no way around this. There is no shoulder to get on. All you can do is sit and wait or take an alternate route, and that's even if you have to get out. So avoid it if you can. Now, we'll, of course, keep you up to speed on your traffic all morning.
From around the metro area, we've gotten 7 in Conway, 6 in Maumelle. I just measured 4 to 5 in downtown. There's even a southwestern Garland County. There's a 8-inch snowfall measurement. So it varies from location to location, but generally 4 to 8 inches is what has been seen so far this morning. And with it still snowing, we could add another inch, maybe 2 to these totals as we go through the morning. Melinda, we have so much more to get to in weather. It's also so cold outside.
Absolutely. Those temperatures colder than we've seen in about 30 years as far as our high and our low will be today and tomorrow morning. Let me show you what it feels like right now if you are headed out. Be sure the kids have something that's waterproof on their hands, because as they're trying to play in the snow, if those mittens and gloves get wet, it's going to be terrible. It's 10 degrees. The feels like reading is -5. Almost everybody below 0, and North Arkansas well below 0 for the wind chills. North wind at about 12 miles per hour. That is blowing the snow around, really kind of keeping our visibility down to 0. But even then, be careful. Look at this winter weather map as we zoom out. I don't remember seeing one like this that covers this much of the country, all the way from Texas, seeing a mix of snow and ice. Our producer said that his parents in Atlanta, Texas, measured 9 inches of snow in their yard this morning, and it goes all the way up into Nashville, St. Louis, and into the Northeast as well. Temperatures again, look at that, below 0 at Fayetteville and Harrison.
The accident front, we are getting word that an accident has been cleared. That's at least according to the icons, but it's not showing that if you look on the video. So if you take a look at just the map, it might be a little misleading right now, showing that there's no accident on the 30 on-ramp from the 630 interstate. So that traffic, as you can see, still at a complete standstill. We've got an emergency vehicle on the scene. Look at the top left-hand side of your screen. That's 1, 2, maybe 3 cars all in kind of different directions. It does look like a wrecker might be on site there, so hopefully it gets cleared up, but it is not clear, despite what we may see on this map here. So please.
But look who's here. Todd Jacobian just made it in, and you just drove these streets that are terrible.
Chris Kane asked me when I came in, he goes, what was the hardest part? And I said, all of it. There's not an easy part. Stay home. I wish I didn't have to get out, to be honest with you. None of us do, but everything's bad.
Right, it is certainly bad. We're going to talk about what's coming now and then looking ahead to another winter weather event starting on Wednesday. But we want to head out our front door because meteorologist James Bryant is out there. We couldn't keep him out of the snow, and he's out there checking it out. Hey, James.
Hey, Melinda. You know, I love to witness when we have extreme weather. I can't just live it through it with a screen. I love to see it. The snow's still coming down. It's not as heavy as it was earlier. It's a dry snow. You'll notice it's not really sticking to anything like some of our snows will. It's very, very powdery. Came out here to take a snowfall measurement, and we've got about 5 inches here in downtown. In other spots, it's closer to 4. But hey, this is a good snow for Little Rock. It's the most snow we've received here in Little Rock since January of 2016. It's the biggest snow for Little Rock in 5 years, and for other parts of the state, it's even longer. Of course, the heaviest snowfall kind of tapering off. You'll show us radar in a minute, but man, it's beautiful out here. Now, it is cold, incredibly cold. I've only been out here 5 minutes. The wind chill below 0. It's starting to get to me. I'm going to come back inside here in just a moment. Melinda?
Okay. All right, welcome back, everybody. 9:18. The snow continues to fall. This is one we'll remember for a long time.
It is. This is a memory maker. Stay safe, everybody. I've got new information now on winter storm number 2 coming in, and if you like this snow, you're going to like this forecast.
Wow. Okay, I want to show you some video, and you need to watch this too because I know you love to ski. They are skiing in Hot Springs. How about that?
I'm doing this in West Little Rock today or
You're going to
tomorrow.
get the skis out?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, he looks like he knows what he's doing pretty well. So skiing on the roadways there in Hot Springs, so pretty cool. You may see Todd Jacobian doing that.
They need to groom it and be careful of the moguls. All right?
It's not a ski resort, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
it's just a street. But
How much are lift tickets at Pinnacle right now?
I think they're free. Okay. All right. Hey, I got a few pictures to show you as well coming in. This is Amanda in Roland. She says we are already out playing in the snow, but look how bundled up they are head to toe, and that's what you need to do. The dogs are enjoying it. That's from Gibson, and Tara said that her dog Pitch was having a good time this morning. I just thought this one was beautiful from Hollis. Mackenzie sent that one in of that cardinal there, dealing with the snow. Let's head over to James now. He's got a look at what's falling right now.
Yeah, okay, first off, I'll start with this. The temperature at Little Rock has dropped to 9 degrees during the day. It is difficult to get Little Rock down to 9 degrees. We're there. It's the 5th time since 1990. North Little Rock sitting at 5. There's some new snow totals popping up on here. It appears a heavier band of snow set up last night over northern Pulaski County because out at the North Little Rock Airport right there, they have measured 10.6 inches of snow. I got out and measured 5 in downtown. You see how small of a distance that is, and you have a 5-inch measurement and a 10-inch measurement. Doesn't matter what you got, everybody got plenty of snow, 6 to 8 inches.
We're going to remember this snowstorm for a long time as we continue to add up more and more of this snowfall.
Snow, dry powdery snow does not cause power outages, but the demand for heat does. 11,000 across the state now without electricity, according to poweroutage.us.
Okay, well, let's talk about temperatures then and how cold it is, especially if you are without power or without heat. And we are down to 9 degrees in Little Rock right now, -1 up at Harrison, Mountain Home, and Fayetteville, and 12 degrees at Arkadelphia and Hot Springs. And then factor in the wind, which is pretty breezy out there, and I think that continues all day long. -4 is what it feels like in Little Rock. I just kind of stuck my nose outside, and it feels every bit of that. Getting close to -20 up at Fayetteville. So bundle up. The doctor was just saying maybe 30 minutes outside playing and then come back in and warm up a little bit. Let's head over to James now.
Good evening. Weather continues to be our top story. The state covered in a blanket of snow today, causing terrible road conditions and also power concerns tonight. Meteorologist Todd Jacobian leads us off tonight with the very latest. Todd?
One down, one more to go. We have flurries now, a live Doppler network. Now what you see here, very light flurries, little additional accumulation. We're in a lull right now before our next big weather maker arrives, and it will be here sooner rather than later. There goes our huge storm system, a large area of flurries coming across the state, and again, minimal accumulation with that. But we look at a brand new, just issued winter storm warning again for most of Arkansas, except the far southeast corner. I bet they'll be put under one late Tuesday, late tomorrow. This goes into effect through noon Thursday. It should be gone before noon Thursday, in my opinion. But much of Wednesday, if you thought today was bad, we're going to have it just as bad, if not worse, coming up on Wednesday. Let's go through Futurecast. Dry tomorrow, maybe a break or two in the clouds, but the clouds come back 6:30. Western Arkansas gets snow. Look how it covers up the state tomorrow night. Look at Wednesday morning, 5 a.m., more snow. And we think southern Arkansas may see a mix or completely sleet across the southern 1/4 of the state with snow further towards the north. Where that boundary sets up, it's still a little bit too early to know. This is what we're really focusing in on with Chief Meteorologist Barry Brandt, the cold that is coming, and it's here now and for tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, Todd, the coldest high temperature we've ever had in Little Rock on a February the 15th is 30 degrees. Take a look at this. Our high today, 15, and I think that we have forecast up there, but I think that's going to be what the high is. The coldest high since 1989. The record low tonight for tomorrow morning is 14. We won't be within sight of that. We're going to be at 0 for an overnight low, breaking the record by 14 degrees. Again, the coldest low temperature since 1989, which was -1. And if it clears any tonight, we could go lower than -1. Futurecast wind chill tomorrow morning, that's a whole different deal. It won't be as much wind as there is now, but 16 below here, 25 below in Harrison, 18 below in Searcy, and everywhere in the state. Way below 0 is what it'll feel like. That's dangerous cold. Don't let yourself be stuck out in a stranded car. And a wind chill warning in effect for central, western, northern Arkansas, wind chill advisory elsewhere. Folks, that is some very dangerous cold, and Little Rock has never, since they started issuing winter dangerous wind chill advisories and warnings, we've never been under one. Beth?
Close.
Unbelievable.
Evening flurries, the wind chill warning in effect. We're going to go 19 degrees tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, snow late in the day, mainly western Arkansas. Snow likely tomorrow night, 16 degrees with the winter storm warning in effect. 7+ forecast, 80% chance for snow. It's likely.
When you have snow cover and you have that harsh northwest wind and you get a little bit of clearing, and we might in some spots tonight. I hope we don't, but we might. It gets cold. 0, our expected low in Little Rock. We got back down in December of 1989, we got to -1 here in Little Rock, and it hasn't been that cold since, but we're going to be very close to it, -2 at Searcy and Conway. A lot of you got outside today, and I don't recommend getting outside and staying a long time because it's bitter, frigid cold out there. And you know what? Rowan Roberts, he thought the same thing. That looked like me when I went out today. There's Trent, older brother, 7. Olivia Roberts sent that photo in, and at least one of them was having a great time out there, and I know a lot of kids were having a great time. Now, from Batesville, this is Gabby. Kelly Sifford sent that one in. Looks like she might have just made a snow angel and sat up, but this is big-time snow, and this is going to make a memory for a long, long time to come, especially when we get more snow, and I've got that coming up. Now, this is the Ski Arkansas portion of my weathercast here. Marcus O'Brien sent this in from Cabot. Yeah, pretty good form there. Boy, you just point the skis down on slopes here. It's great stuff. And this, Hayden Byram and Ty Finley in Searcy, they got some speed going down the hill there. Nice form, guys. And Stacy Davis from Monticello around the big wood-burning stove out there under their shelter. Got a lot of friends together. Chime in for us. Send pictures and videos. We'll show you some more of those tonight at 10 o'clock. And be careful if you're going to be outside. Now, today, the record lowest high temperature we've ever had for February 15th was 30, and that was back in 1905. Our high today actually made it to 14. We broke that record by 16 degrees, folks, and it was the coldest high temperature since that cold stretch back in December of 1989. Tomorrow morning, 14 is the record. We're at 14 right now. We're going to break that to pieces as we head down to 0 tonight. It's dangerous to be outside. Don't be out for too long, and be in a reliable vehicle if you're going to be outside, and just don't get out if you don't have to. Coldest low temperatures, again, since 1989. And wind chills, yeah, there's going to be some wind out there too, so our wind chill readings will run from teens to 20s below 0 by tomorrow morning. And so there is a wind chill warning in effect. It's never been issued as far south as Little Rock, and a wind chill advisory for the rest of the state. It's just bitter and dangerous cold. There's most of the snow. It's gone. Flurries for us tonight. Now, let's take a look at what happened. An 8 to 10 inch plus band from the I-30 corridor back into the higher elevations of western Arkansas through western Pulaski County up to Cleburne County or so, surrounded by 6 to 8 inches all the way down to Pine Bluff and Sheridan, 4 to 6 in that southeastern part of the state. And there's more to come. Yeah, wouldn't you know it? This model says that we could clear off some late tonight. I hope it doesn't, but we should see a little sun then tomorrow afternoon, followed by the clouds coming back in. And this is round number 2 with snow coming in late tomorrow night into Wednesday. And then a band of heavy snow. Look at that darker purple shading right there. Comes up through Wednesday morning. And I think coldest since 1989 tonight when we got down to -1. Wind chill 15 to 30 below, a northwest wind 5 to 10. Again, tomorrow up to 19, a little sunshine, but then increasing clouds. And that gives way to that second round of precipitation Wednesday and into Thursday early. And then it's cold out there, and it's going to get colder. A few flakes of snow still from time to time. You can see from our high vantage point in downtown on our Middleton weather cam. And let me tell you, it was a snowy one too. 2-day totals at North Little Rock at the Weather Service, 10.9 inches of snow. And at Little Rock at the airport, 8.3 inches of snow. I'll show you the rest of the state there. But that is a lot of snow, the biggest snow we've had since Christmas Day of 2012. And a long time before that. How about the pictures? Look at this cute guy. Camden, his first snow. Desmond Nesbitt sent this from West Little Rock via Chime In. And there's Lauren McClard sent in Allie. I'll bet you that's Allie's first snow too, because it's been a long time, folks. So cute, and a good dog there. Onyx from Nancy Mitchell. We caught him mid-lick. Beautiful. And Carlisle, Beth Hunt's hometown, she said, oh yeah, that's the overpass. That's the highest hill in Carlisle right there. Jamie Pinto sent that in, and the kids were having a big time. And, so was Sadie. Dana Garvin from Pansy sent that one in with her unicorn. And look at this one. I love this one. Lindsay Andrews sent in Henry, Hudson, and Hayden. Hayden didn't like it very much. What's the missing brother there, though? It's Hunter, right? They should have a Hunter there as well. And then Christy Roberts has the couch sleigh. It might be the best video of all day. The couch turned into a sleigh. You can send your pictures and video via Chime In and KATV.com. Today we had a swath of 8 to 10 plus inches from southwest Arkansas up through the central part of the state. There are spots in North Arkansas that got 8 inches, and southeast Arkansas just a little bit less. 14, the record low tomorrow morning. We're projecting 0. That's the latest single digit in a long time, and the coldest low temperature since 1989. We got to 1 below 0. By the morning, though, the wind chills will be way below 0, and it's not because the wind will be that strong, but when you get that cold and you get any wind, it really makes the feels-like temperature a whole lot worse. Wind chill warning in the darker blue and a wind chill advisory, but it just means it's going to be cold everywhere. And then the new storm comes this way, a winter storm warning in effect, and that is for late Tuesday through noon on Thursday. So let's put it into motion for you. A little clearing tonight and through the day tomorrow, then clouds build. Late Tuesday and into Wednesday morning, snow already breaking out. It'll be light at first, and then look at this heavier band here. Now, where that heavy band sets up will determine where we get the bigger snow totals, but there's plenty of moisture. Sleet in South Arkansas will tend to diminish the accumulation because sleet doesn't pile up like snow does. And then this model has it out of here by Wednesday, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, but some models take it into Thursday as well. And we're projecting 5 to 8 plus inches in a broad area. Now, we'll probably pinpoint an area of that will be at the upper end of that. That'll be tomorrow as we get new model information in. But just let me tell you that we could have a repeat performance in a lot of the state for this next storm system.
If you don't have to get out, don't get out this morning. Meteorologist Melinda Mayo and meteorologist James Bryant both standing by in studio. And James, we'll start with you this morning. Historic snow. We, of course, are seeing it around the entire region, not just here in Arkansas, but the effects, we're certainly feeling them now before our next round.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to put together a list of all the records we broke yesterday. But first things first, we are experiencing a round of dangerous cold. Wind chill warnings are in place for the northern half of the state, advisories everywhere else. We're having a data outage this morning as far as some of our reporting stations, but North Little Rock in northern Pulaski County is down to -2. Little Rock usually about 5 degrees warmer, so maybe they're at 3 or 4 at the Little Rock Airport. At this point, what's the difference between -2 and 5? It's still cold. Wind chills around the state, -17 at North Little Rock. In -17 in Fayetteville as well. It is cold. Our forecast for Little Rock was 0, and we blew right past the old record of 14. It's the coldest night or coldest morning since 1989. Melinda?
Wow, and on top of that, we're going to talk about more snow on the way, and because of that, there is a winter storm warning back in effect. This is the new one for most of the state, all shaded in pink, a winter storm watch for far eastern. All right, the time now is 5:09. We're not watching the records right now. We passed those last night. We are well down into brand new records across most of the state, and I mean well below those old ones. Let's check out these temperatures. Having some data issues because of the snow, but there's a look at our Middleton weather cam to start out. And the clearing skies overnight, one reason these temperatures have gotten so low this morning. -2 at North Little Rock, -6 up at Clinton, -17 at Fayetteville. How about that? Real temperature, and -2 at Arkadelphia. We'll take you right into the metro and show you these readings. Everybody down in those single digits or below. Coldest lows in about 30 years. So yeah, we're living through something right now. In fact, look at the feels like, Rudy. When you factor in the wind, it's actually -17 at the North Little Rock Airport. So those records have been set. Now, there's snow on the way as well, and James has a look at that.
Yes, Melinda, the winter storm warning from yesterday, they just extended it all the way through Thursday morning. It's in effect for most of the state because with cold air in place, everybody going to get at least accumulating winter weather once again. And it looks like this morning we have clearing skies, but our next round of snow, there it is, over New Mexico, back into Arizona, and this is just going to move to the east through today. And I think by tonight, this evening, we're watching snow move into western Arkansas. There's 10 p.m., areas from Fort Smith down.
All right, the time now is 6:09. Let's update you on the weather. We've got kind of two main focuses, the record cold temperatures this morning and the snow that we're still going to see. And yes, there is more on the way. First of all, the temperatures, and we are having some data issues. As you can see, we don't have numbers for every city. In fact, about half the cities because of snow, because of power problems, but it is -2 at North Little Rock, so that gives you an idea for the metro area. -17 up at Fayetteville, and they do have just a little bit of a wind chill now at -19 for feels like, but it's -17 wind chill here in the Little Rock area. So bundle up. Good idea to have those blankets in your car too, just in case anything happens. You don't want to be without those and have the biggest coat you have on. Wind chills, we have a wind chill warning all the way down to the metro area. South of Little Rock, though, it is a wind chill advisory, but just as cold there because of those temperatures combined with the wind. And we're going to talk about some of the snow amounts. This was yesterday, what we saw from round number 2. James is going to tell us more about round number 2 coming up.
Yeah, Melinda, yesterday we sat in here and thought that 8 to 10 inch band would be further to the east. Nope, right over Little Rock. So Little Rock Airport got 8.3 inches of snow officially, and for the month of February, that's our 5th highest snowfall, and it's our highest since 2012. The 7-day record, this is interesting, the 7-day record for snow at Little Rock is 13.6 inches. We got 8. We have another snowstorm coming, so another 5.5 inches of snow, and that's going to break the all-time 7-day snow record. North Little Rock just a few miles away, their second highest snow on record. They got almost 11 inches yesterday. Incredible. Now, winter storm warning is in effect for most of the state. I expect the other counties to be added. We are all clear this morning. We're not going to stay that way. There's the snow out to the west, and I think snow enters the picture by the time we get to the mid to late evening hours in mainly western Arkansas. Overnight, it overspreads the state, and accumulating snow is likely once again. You get through tomorrow, and I think during the day we're going to see a band of heavier snow set up. Where exactly it sets up, I mean, we saw it yesterday. We thought it would be just east of Little Rock, ended up just west, so it can change by a few miles. But I think right now it's going to focus in the central third of the state. In southern Arkansas, some sleet is going to cut into those snow totals, but it's going to be just as impactful. All this is going to wind down by early Thursday, maybe some lingering snowfall, but we'll get it out of here. We've been showing this all morning. In the central third of the state, at least 4 to 8 inches of snow expected to be added on top of whatever we have right now with lesser amounts towards the southeast and northwest. But everybody's going to see something, and Melinda, I'm not even sure what this is going to look like because we don't get snow on top of snow very often.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us are looking, you know, at your driveway or your backyard where it still is like this, and you're thinking another 8 inches on top of that. So how about that? And it's starting to really pile up as the plows push it aside too. So that's going to be something. Let's talk about your forecast for today, though. We'll call it partly cloudy. cloudy. I think we may start mostly sunny. We're going to get some sunshine here as the sun comes up, but clouds will increase by the afternoon. Again, a high of only about 19 degrees today. Wind chill warning. That is actually warmer than yesterday. And then tonight, it will not be as cold. In fact, we'll only go down a few degrees overnight tonight to just 16 as the clouds will be increasing. And snow does return late tonight for especially western Arkansas. By tomorrow morning on daybreak, we'll be here showing you more snow on the radars. It will be probably increasing about this time. It's going to maybe look kind of like Monday morning. We'll see. And then it looks like it does wrap up Thursday.
Well, Victoria, we keep getting more information about power outages. The weather not necessarily causing them as far as ice and snow, but heating demand is incredibly high with record temperatures across the state this morning. 36,000. PowerOutage.us website's a great resource to track power outages. A lot of these are across western Arkansas, and temperatures in that part of the state this morning were below -5 across a lot of that area. And there's also some outages popping up now in Lonoke County. So that's something we're going to keep track of as we go through today and through this next winter storm. Speaking of the next winter storm warnings in effect now for the entire state, well, most of it, and I think those other counties are going to be added. Snow returns to our forecast tonight. We start the day mostly clear, but by 8 o'clock, I think we're starting to see some snow enter western Arkansas, and then it really enters the state overnight. I think initially it'll be light, but then as we go through the day tomorrow, snowfall rates will pick up. And I think while snow will be over the entire state, except for the far southeast corner, there's going to be a corridor in here of heavier snow, and at this point, I'd say there's a good chance it's between Pine Bluff and Russellville, Arkadelphia and Russellville, kind of in this section right here, and that's where the snow is really going to pile up tomorrow. As you get to late Wednesday, I think more sleet mixes in with the snow in southeast Arkansas, so it may lower the amounts there, but it's still going to be just as impactful. There are going to be severe travel impacts. The snow will finally begin to wrap up early Thursday. We'll be dealing with flurries and then hopefully clearing skies by later in the day Thursday. Here's our latest forecast, and I know what you're thinking. We just got 8 to 10 inches of snow some spots, and yes, there's going to be another swath of 5 to 8 inches of snow from western Arkansas through central sections of the state and then into northeast Arkansas. Lower amounts for southeast Arkansas where there's going to be freezing rain and sleet. Doesn't matter where you are in the state, this is going to be incredibly impactful. One thing to keep in mind, though, Little Rock got 8.3 inches of snow over the last 2 days, and for this to be the snowiest 7-day period in Little Rock weather history, we only need 5.4 inches of snow for that to happen. So that's a pretty incredible stat, and it's incredible that we're even in a position to break that record. Also of note, North Little Rock, almost 11 inches of snow yesterday. That was the second highest snowfall there since 1975. How about temperatures this morning? Well, Little Rock was down to -4 earlier, North Little Rock rather, and now we're up to 1. We're having a data outage this morning, so a lot of these stations are not populating. We've got North Little Rock in place of Little Rock this morning. It's 7 in Arkadelphia. They got down to negative temperatures this morning as well. As you look at the metro area, Conway, they were at -2. They're now at 0, still -3. At the Little Rock Air Force Base, and my goodness, you just don't see these temperatures very often here, and you certainly don't see these wind chills very often. -12 right now at Little Rock and -11 in Fayetteville. So here's some preliminary numbers for this Arctic outbreak this morning. Mena got down to -11. That's their coldest temperature since 1899. And for Little Rock, we got to 0 at the airport, even though the data is not flowing in. They did get down to 0 over there, and that's the coldest temperature since 1989. How about another scene that you don't see very often? 8 to 10 inches of snow on Pinnacle Mountain. Todd Jacobian joked yesterday, where do you get lift tickets? Because there's plenty of snow on Pinnacle Mountain and in West Little Rock. As we go through the next several days, temperatures are going to warm up. We're going to come out of this stretch, and hopefully by the end of the weekend, we get close to 50. Not today, though. 19 is the high. That's the high today. Yesterday's high was 14, so a little bit warmer than yesterday. A wind chill warning is in effect or will expire soon. Winds hopefully shouldn't be much of a problem for the rest of the day. 16 will be tonight's low as clouds increase and snow returns throughout the night and into tomorrow. I think Thursday we will see the snow chances decrease rapidly as we get out of the morning hours. So there's some good news, but I think we'll stay below freezing through Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe by Friday afternoon we will get above freezing for the first time in 9 days. And then, oh man, that's a long stretch of winter weather, and by the end of it, I think we're coming out of it into the 50s. Victoria?
Oh, was it cold this morning? 11 below at Mena, where it cleared early last night. More than 100 years ago it was, since it was that cold. Arkadelphia, since records have been kept there, it's never been that cold. 9 below. Benton, 9 below. Conway, 9 below. North Little Rock at 4 below. Camden, 2 below, and 1 below here in Little Rock. And that official reading is the coldest we've been since 2 days before Christmas in 1989. So it's been a number of years. In fact, we're at 140 hours consecutive, not above freezing. And we're going to 229, which puts us somewhere right in there, number 3 on the list, and it wouldn't take much to get up to 233 hours. But we do think we'll pop up above freezing on Friday. Until then, cold, but that word, isn't that a beautiful word? Melting. Yeah, we've got a lot of melting as we head into Friday and especially Saturday. And then Sunday, even though there's a small rain chance. So a winter weather advisory, in effect, that's just a winter storm warning. We're done with advisories, folks. These are warnings because of the amount of snow that we're going to see. And you can see already snowing heavily along the Red River between Oklahoma and Texas. And here we are. The clouds have moved in. Now the snow is starting to move in. So let's put this into motion. And we get this broad area of relatively light snow to start by 10, 11 o'clock tonight. When you tune back in at 10 o'clock, I think there'll be plenty of snow, at least in the air. And then the heavier stuff starts to come in. You can see more moisture really in the southern half of the state is going to be available. Then the sleet area starts to lift up, but there'll be bands of heavy snow 8 a.m. through somewhere in the state. And we think it'll be probably somewhere in central, maybe just to the south of Little Rock for tomorrow. Again, it depends on how far the sleet area comes up because that doesn't pile up like snow does. But then as we head into the afternoon, still some snow. Into the evening, still some snow, and there could be a little bit of a leftover very light sleet or snow early Thursday morning before it finally gets out of here. And we might even get a peek of sun on Thursday afternoon. That would be great, but it's not going to do much good because it's going to be cold. But 5 to 8 inches plus is what we're looking for, a broad area. It shuts off sooner in North Arkansas, so not as much there. Not as much south because I think it mixes in with sleet, but a heavy band of snow somewhere in that I-30 or I-40 corridor there, and the plus part of that could be in one of those bands. There could be more than 8 inches of snow. 16 right now in Searcy and Stuttgart. Pine Bluff at 16, it's a little warmer in western Arkansas. We have a southeast wind at 7 miles an hour. It feels like 6 outside. That's better than last night. It won't get as cold as it did last night, but a beautiful shot on our Middleton weather cam, and the clouds are thickening with that new system coming this way. 14, our overnight low tonight, and snow does return, as I showed you, and it lasts through the day tomorrow. The column from surface to the cloud will be below freezing, and that's why we're going to get snow. Oh, was it cold this morning? 11 below at Mena, where it cleared early last night. More than 100 years ago it was, since it was that cold. Arkadelphia, since records have been kept there, it's never been that cold. 9 below. Benton, 9 below. Conway, 9 below. North Little Rock at 4 below. Camden, 2 below, and 1 below here in Little Rock. And that official reading is the coldest we've been since 2 days before Christmas in 1989. So it's been a number of years. In fact, we're at 140 hours consecutive, not above freezing. And we're going to 229, which puts us somewhere right in there, number 3 on the list, and it wouldn't take much to get up to 233 hours. But we do think we'll pop up above freezing on Friday. Until then, cold, but that word, isn't that a beautiful word? Melting. Yeah, we've got a lot of melting as we head into Friday and especially Saturday. And then Sunday, even though there's a small rain chance. So a winter weather advisory, in effect, that's just a winter storm warning. We're done with advisories, folks. These are warnings because of the amount of snow that we're going to see. And you can see already snowing heavily along the Red River between Oklahoma and Texas. And here we are. The clouds have moved in. Now the snow is starting to move in. So let's put this into motion. And we get this broad area of relatively light snow to start by 10, 11 o'clock tonight. When you tune back in at 10 o'clock, I think there'll be plenty of snow, at least in the air. And then the heavier stuff starts to come in. You can see more moisture really in the southern half of the state is going to be available. Then the sleet area starts to lift up, but there'll be bands of heavy snow 8 a.m. through somewhere in the state. And we think it'll be probably somewhere in central, maybe just to the south of Little Rock for tomorrow. Again, it depends on how far the sleet area comes up because that doesn't pile up like snow does. But then as we head into the afternoon, Still some snow. Into the evening, still some snow, and there could be a little bit of a leftover very light sleet or snow early Thursday morning before it finally gets out of here. And we might even get a peek of sun on Thursday afternoon. That would be great, but it's not going to do much good because it's going to be cold. But 5 to 8 inches plus is what we're looking for, a broad area. It shuts off sooner in North Arkansas, so not as much there. Not as much south because I think it mixes in with sleet, but a heavy band of snow somewhere in that I-30 or I-40 corridor there, and the plus part of that could be in one of those bands. There could be more than 8 inches of snow. 16 right now in Searcy and Stuttgart. Pine Bluff at 16, it's a little warmer in western Arkansas. We have a southeast wind at 7 miles an hour. It feels like 6 outside. That's better than last night. It won't get as cold as it did last night, but a beautiful shot on our Middleton weather cam, and the clouds are thickening with that new system coming this way. 14, our overnight low tonight, and snow does return, as I showed you, and it lasts through the day tomorrow.
All right, we are continuing with our crews live on the road. That is a live shot kind of mounted there on one of our news crew units. That's Max Bennett, who is out there driving the roads for you this morning. And as you can see, we still have a pretty good lane there that has been cleared off, but snow, packed snow on each side, and we are getting some new snow on those roadways as well. Looks like he's on I-30 right there. We'll check back with him a little bit later on. Let me show you Storm Scan because it really shows with this color-coded radar where the snow is heavier, where it is a little bit lighter. It's starting to lighten up a little bit in southwest Arkansas. I wouldn't put too much stock in that because there is more on the way, but heavier here in the metro where it's darker blue, and then those purples up in the Russellville area, now back into Logan County, a little heavier area, as well as in southeastern Arkansas. Let me show you our region because you may think, well, not much out of the second round. Look at all this moisture down in Texas, and we've been hearing the terrible stories of power outages in Texas. Dallas, not bad right now. Houston, mainly rain, but right in between those two cities, there is freezing rain, sleet, and snow. And look where it's headed, to the northeast, which is going to put it especially over the southeastern half of the state. And James, that may be where we get our heaviest snow later on today.
Yeah, Melinda, latest reports, and we're going to have to talk in new snow. This is on top of what you have. 2 inches of snow already southwest of Pine Bluff, and we're just getting started. I think it could snow in Pine Bluff for another 12 to 18 hours, with several hours of that going to be heavy snow. So mainly light snow right now, and as you look outside, it's nothing like Monday morning where we couldn't even see 6:30 from this camera. But as we go through the next several hours, that light snow becomes a little bit heavier by late morning, and a band of snow is going to set up from southwest Arkansas along I-30 from Little Rock, maybe to the south towards Pine Bluff, and then east along I-40. And that's where our heaviest snow is going to fall. Now, in southeast Arkansas, Monticello, Ashley, and Chico counties, I think some of that's going to mix with sleet and then maybe eventually freezing rain. Not as much snow, but just as impactful as it is everywhere else across the state. Another thing to point out this afternoon, 4 o'clock, from Mena to Russellville to Mountain View and to the west. I think the snow pretty much will be done after this morning. It will be snowing for central, southern, and eastern Arkansas for several more hours this evening. I think some very heavy snow could fall during that time, too. The good news is by 10 o'clock, I think things begin to taper off, and by tomorrow morning, it's going to look a lot better. So, new snow. Most of the 3 to 5 inches in northwest Arkansas has fallen this morning, but for central, southern, eastern Arkansas, 5 to 8 inches of snow is expected. Melinda, there's already 2 inches of snow that has fallen in Pine Bluff, and with the heaviest snow still to come later today, I think I like areas just southeast of Little Rock to possibly pick up 8 to 10 inches of snow.
Yeah, there's going to be a band just like on Monday where really you get those higher amounts, and that may be where it is. Further south,
30, you can see that there are still patches of ice and snow, but they've done such a good job of clearing out interstates so that they are passable. We'll update you on those road conditions in just a bit. But first, thanks so much for waking up with us and trusting Channel 7 for the very latest on this winter weather storm.
We are on your side with team coverage, and we're going to start with our meteorologist in studio this morning to make sure you know what to expect, a timeline of that next round of winter weather. And precipitation already falling, guys, in certain areas around the state, some a little bit heavier than others. Where can we expect the most snowfall today, and what time, James?
Well, Chris, it's that same corridor that got the most snow on Monday, and for many spots, I think this is quickly heading towards the snowiest week on record. We'll get into that here in a bit, but there's some heavier snow back towards Russellville this morning into western Arkansas. For central Arkansas, all along the I-30 corridor, it's light to moderate snow, and it has been quite a bit heavier into southeast Arkansas as well. Now, as you look outside on our Middleton weather cam, 6:30 it's beginning to come a little bit more snow covered, and the snow continues to come down lightly. I think it's going to be a whole lot heavier as you get towards this evening. And look at this, as you get towards 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, there's your heavier band of snow. It may mix with sleet or freezing rain in far southeast Arkansas. And remember, as you get towards this afternoon, I think northwest Arkansas is done, northwest of Amina to Russellville to Mountain View line. But for central Arkansas, and I think areas just to the south of Little Rock, Melinda, we could see some spots that get in excess of 8 inches of snow, new snow.
Yeah, this could be kind of opposite of Monday, where the heavy snow happened earlier and it got better in the afternoon. I think it gets worse this afternoon. Let me show you where all this extra snow is going to come from. When you look at radar right now, it looks like we're kind of seeing the back edge of it in western Arkansas, and western and northwest, you will see it into early today. But look at all of this moisture down in Texas and Louisiana. That is going to be moving up, especially over the southeastern half, so our snow chances increase going into this afternoon.
We'll have more from northern Arkansas that 2 to 4 inches of snow has fallen overnight. So for areas northwest of Amina to Russellville to Mountain View line, the snow is going to be a lot lighter today. The main show is going to be along the I-30 corridor into Little Rock and then along I-40, and you can kind of already see the snow down towards Texarkana. It's getting a lot heavier, and this is all going to come up towards Little Rock over the next several hours, and I think we still may see 10 to 12 hours of snow in Little Rock and points to the south. So it is snowing this morning. It's generally been light. Adamsfield now up to just over a half an inch, but look at this. And this could just cap off an all-time incredible snow week as far as amounts go. 1 o'clock, the amounts are getting a little bit heavier into Little Rock, and it continues for several hours as we go into the early evening, and then it will finally taper off. I think by 10 o'clock the snow gets a lot lighter and pulls off to the east. Also, one thing to note, in southern Arkansas, we may see some sleet mix in. Hampton, Warren, El Dorado, those areas. I think we may see some sleet or freezing rain mix in, and that could lower snowfall amounts for those areas. Little Rock, just Monday, got 8.3 inches of snow. We only need 5.4 inches. Now we're at another half an inch on top of this. So less than 5 inches needed to break the all-time 7-day snow record. It is within reach today. The heaviest snow is this afternoon. Temperatures are going to be in the low 20s. Snow will taper off this evening. Of course, high impacts to travel. And next up, we're going to have Chris with traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's take a look at our D3 Auto Sales Traffic Report. Here's a live look on iDrive Arkansas at the I-30 area at the Pulaski-Saline County line. So 30 east and westbound. Look, you see those big trucks moving through and a couple of cars right now. Of course, volume's going to be light, but we want to know what's on the road. So let's go ahead and back out of this camera and kind of zoom out on our map. And let's talk about what we're seeing right now and what's being reported on the roadways from iDrive Arkansas. Mostly snow covered around the state, all the way from Fort Smith down to Little Rock on I-40. You're going to see snow coverage there. But the further to the southwest you go, we are seeing some ice patches. Now, more snow coverage we're seeing. That's going to be down in the Garland County.
Snow getting a little bit heavier in Little Rock, and today most of our snow is going to be focused right along the I-30 corridor into Little Rock and then along I-40 and to the south. Most of the snow this morning falling between Monticello, Pine Bluff, and look at South Arkansas. It's getting a little heavier down towards Hope and El Dorado, Magnolia. As you look back towards the southwest, that snow is slowly going to lift to the northeast today and bring what would be an incredible snowstorm if we didn't have one before that. There's a look at the I-30 River Bridge and the snow either getting heavier or the clouds getting lower as we go through the next several hours. 1, 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon, the snow gets a little bit heavier. Again, I think northwest Arkansas pretty much done by this afternoon, but most of the snow for central, eastern, south Arkansas, it will continue and it will get heavier. We'll also have to watch for some mixing of sleet and freezing rain in southern Arkansas. Remember, Little Rock just needs about 5.5 inches to make this the 7th snowiest week on record. Chris?
James, thank you. Now looking at our D3 Auto Sales Traffic Report, and I want to show you iDrive Arkansas, where we're still seeing those snow-covered roads, as James was alluding to. And don't be fooled, folks. James said this is just the beginning of the snow you're going to experience today. So while your commute might be okay this morning, this afternoon, if you're going into work and you're not leaving till later this afternoon, it will be a different story. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this map real quick, and I'll show you a couple different things that we're seeing right now. Let's go up here. Interstate 40. This is coming in from Conway. This is just to the west of the Morgan Maumelle exit. There's a live look at what's happening through the bean fields, and that's a steep incline, folks. So if you're heading up there, there is a road, or there's a lane that's cleared, but the roads will be tough to get up. As we go to break, here's the 30 River Bridge. Coming up next, more of Good Morning America. Stay with us.
This will last. Hey, guys.
Well, we got several more hours of this. Right now, the worst part of this by far, it's I-40 leaving and coming to Little Rock on I-40 from here to Memphis. This is Remington Road on I-40, just 10 miles away from North Little Rock. This is the traffic going towards Memphis, and you can see that tractor trailer, that rig off the road and has backed traffic up. This is just one of many. We're going to show you more of these in just a little bit, but I-40 right now, don't even try it. Even I-30 is bad, but we haven't had any reports of major accidents there. But I-40 is the worst, and the worst of this snowstorm will be just south and east of the Little Rock metro area, but we're getting it here too. I want to show you the winter storm warning, which is in effect for most of the Channel 7 viewing area until noon tomorrow. It will probably get canceled before then. To add insult to injury, we have a severe snow squall, which is moving through portions of Grant County, Dallas County, Cleveland, Lincoln County, southern areas of Jefferson County. This includes Pine Bluff, but a severe snow squall. What that means, visibility will be reduced to 0 with extremely heavy snowfall. That's in effect until 4:15. It includes Dumas, Fordyce, Pine Bluff, and Whitehall. Snowfall rates up to 2 inches per hour in this area, and that's where we're going to probably end up with about a foot of snow. I went out, there was an isolated spot that gets more than that. Star City to Pine Bluff, back towards Dallas County. Up towards Little Rock, we're still getting snow, but it decreases remarkably up towards the north and the west, and sleet in southern Arkansas changing over to snow, but it's very heavy again in that southeastern corner of the state. Northern western Arkansas, you're done with all of this. We're going to show you Futurecast in just a little bit, but Chief Meteorologist Barry Brandt has more on these roads and some pictures too.
Yeah, I-40 is a mess. There's that corridor, and like you said, it's not good here in Little Rock, but just to the south and to the east of Little Rock, it's a whole lot worse. Let's go back, if we can, to our iDrive Arkansas map, and I'll show you that the blue shading on all those primary roads there, that is snow-covered. But it doesn't tell the whole story, because it's not just snow-covered, it's deep snow, especially when you get Little Rock and southward. I do want to go to one camera in Whitehall. Todd just showed you that intense snow squall there. There it is. Okay, camera is up. Look at how heavy the snow is. Visibility is near nothing. It's snowing so heavily right now in that area. That is going to be a mess. I'd say between here and Pine Bluff, I wouldn't do it unless you absolutely have to, and you've got to have four-wheel drive, and you've got to have a car that has sufficient clearance. A car will be too low. It's going to start to push snow. If you have a SUV or a truck, it's going to be a little bit higher clearance there. But I'm going to show you more on I-40. Let's go back to the map. And out to the east, we showed you Remington Road. Over closer to Biscoe, here's another camera. Because of just to the west of the White River Bridge, there has been an accident there. And Todd says it's been there for hours and hours. And look at this. This is looking westbound. So these cars and trucks are going westbound back toward Little Rock. Now, the other way, there isn't much problem, but we haven't seen much traffic come the other way. You can move in snow, but it's not advisable, and there has obviously been an accident there. We'll go on the other side of the bridge and show you that this is the eastbound, looking east, so that westbound lane on the other side is stopped. And I've seen that truck there for a long, long time. Folks, that is a live shot, and it isn't doing anything right now. That hasn't moved for hours. I see folks out of their cars. They have animals out there. And yeah, let's go also around the Little Rock area. I showed you it's piling up here too. So Max Bennett, our photojournalist, is out and about, and he has a live shot up. He's kind of circling the major interstates around the Little Rock area here. And if we can bring him up, yeah. Now, this is 6:30 downtown, and you'll see that one lane has been kept relatively snow-free, but it's snowing at such a rate that even where the trucks have just been, it's still covering the roadways. And then if you're not in that lane, then it's 3, 4 inches. I believe we have 4 inches now officially in Little Rock. And it's, folks, it's going to get worse here. It just may be worse as we head just to the south and east. Todd?
Yeah, Barry, let me take you through Futurecast now. When's this going to end? This is, again, right now, 3 o'clock. and the snow continues through 10 o'clock. But late tonight and tomorrow morning, especially before sunrise, it will taper off to snow flurries, mainly for the eastern one half of the state. It may last a little bit around 6 or 7 o'clock, and then it's gone. We will come out of this deep freeze relatively soon. Temperatures are in the upper teens to around 20 degrees. Wind chill readings, boy, it's terrible to be stuck out there right now at those wind chill readings around 7 degrees. Middleton Weather Cam in downtown Little Rock, snow in 19. The forecast for tonight, 20 degrees. It'll hold steady there with evening snow. It'll decrease late. And tomorrow, maybe some clearing by the afternoon and 31 degrees. Ansley?
Okay, Todd, thank you so much. We are on your side today monitoring road conditions after the second round of this winter storm dumped more snow on the state. And Channel 7's Alex Birch joins us now at Interstate 630 at State Street. And Alex, what are you seeing out there right now?
Tell you the only reason we were able to make it down this road here is because we have all-wheel drive, and even then it was still dicey. We're in front of Philander Smith College here. We have Interstate 630 behind us. I mean, you can't even see the road. It's a little better on the interstate. You know, crews have been going up and down trying to keep at least one lane open. But if you turn over here to this is State Street overpass, it's completely blanketed in snow. These roads are getting more and more undrivable, even for those bigger cars, even for the cars that have all-wheel drive. Earlier today, we saw cars spinning their tires, unable to make it through intersections. We saw an RV and a van that had to get towed away. So the message is really, if you do not need to be driving, please stay off the roads. You don't want to get stranded in this, and it's only going to get worse as the snow continues to accumulate.
Meteorologist Todd Yacobian.
All right, there's the Arkansas Department of Transportation iDrive Arkansas camera. That's on I-430, just before the 30 split. There's a lane on each side of the interstate there that's relatively clear. Traffic, thankfully, is light, but we do not recommend anybody traveling. I-40 is just a mess between here and Memphis. Now, photojournalist Max Bennett has been driving around. He's on I-630. No, he's not. It looks like, no, he's on Financial Center Parkway going up to Chenal Parkway now over there at Bowman Road. Look how these, the Best Buy is right there on the right. But snow covered, but he's making some progress there. Very few cars as we are in the middle of a winter storm. And that guy there is trying to get someplace fast. All right, here's a look at, I think we're going to look live now on our Milton Weather Cam. Downtown Little Rock, the snow just continues to dump on us. Now, it's really interesting to see where the heaviest of the snow is going to set up. Western Pulaski County, you'll get just maybe 2, 3, 4 inches. Eastern Pulaski County towards the airport will get large amounts, especially just south and east of the Little Rock metro area. Winter storm warning is in effect for all the counties shaded in pink, and that includes, well, everybody except 4 counties in northwest Arkansas. There's our satellite and radar put together. The snow's over in western and northern Arkansas, but heavy snow right along I-30 to I-40. This is the corridor that we think is going to be the hardest hit from Grant County to Jefferson County, moving up into Lonoke County. There's I-40, where all that snow is taking aim on from Hazen, Duval's Bluff, back towards Lonoke and Carlisle. You get into eastern Pulaski County, heavy snow, and then it gradually decreases, especially in western Pulaski County. And in Russellville, you're not getting anything. But we had that severe snow squall going on until 4:15. That advisory includes Pine Bluff, it includes Whitehall, and it's probably going to get reissued, I think, a little bit further towards the north and the east. We're not done yet. There's more snow surging in from Texas, but this should taper off later tonight and into tomorrow morning. Futurecast 5 p.m. Sleet's mixing in. Just got a report out of Rye that heavy sleet is coming down. So it's mixing in southern Arkansas. I think it will eventually go over to all snow again. This is 7 p.m. Snow, just flurries on the back side of this. At 11 o'clock, it's still snowing. But tomorrow morning at about 7 o'clock, there's still some light snow, a few flurries, gone by the afternoon with clearing. Here's our updated snowfall forecast. As we've been telling you now for several days, there would be an area of 5 to 8 inches, and we are honing in on that location just south and east of the Little Rock metro area. So in a narrow area right there, 8 to 12 inches will probably be the final amount from near I-40 back towards Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, over there towards Fordyce, Dallas County, and Arkadelphia. 8 to 12 inches, and there could be an isolated higher amount. All the snow here in western and northern Arkansas, you're done. 3 to 5 inches. Yeah, this is eastbound on I-40. You said 19 miles? Estimate?
Yeah, it's all the way to Carlisle.
Yeah, all the way to Carlisle. This is eastbound I-40. And it just starts west of the White River Bridge out there in eastern Arkansas. The backup now just under 20 miles and growing, and the snow is unrelenting. It's just going to continue. All right, let me show you a live look at our Middleton weather cam into downtown Little Rock, what it looks like. Now we are up to 6 inches of snow out at the Little Rock Airport. In some places in southern Arkansas are already at 8 inches, and there's still a lot more snow to go. And I think we're going to end up with a foot or more in some places with this winter storm warning in effect. As you can imagine, we are breaking records. I mean, you name it, we'll find a record that can be broken. Chief Meteorologist Barry Brandt has been looking at some of these numbers, and let's go to him.
And we'll take a look at we just got this graphic, and so let's take a look at it. We did break the snowiest February on record. That has been updated to 14.5. It's 14.5, and the 7-day record is 14.5. So that'll be something that we change. But a 7-day snowfall record. It's never snowed more than 2 feet in Little Rock in a 7-day period, and it's still snowing out here. And so we've got records, and we'll update those for you by 5 o'clock tonight, but there's going to be a lot of them in there. Jennifer Crow, Alexander, the kids are out this morning. You know, it's not as cold as it was the other day when it snowed so heavily, Sunday and Monday. Scott Hollinger in Prattsville says, yeah, look at the size of these flakes. And Doug Fuller in Kingsland, also that snowfall there is extremely heavy. Don't get on I-40, I think, is what we're going to be talking about today, or I-530 down to Pine Bluff, because that's where it's snowing so heavily. And Todd, even here, the snow is coming down at a high rate. It had kind of shifted to the southeast. I think it may be shifting up into Little Rock a little.
Yeah, it is. I think our forecast's looking good still, up to 8 inches with isolated higher amounts. We'll show that to you in just a little bit. But the Storm Prediction Center even getting in on this, and they've highlighted this entire area for snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. Northwest Arkansas, if you're watching us from Russellville or from the Ozarks, like, what? There's nothing coming down. Again, it's the southeastern half of the state, and it backs up close to Russellville, but the heaviest, again, down here towards Pine Bluff. Heavy snow continues to come up into northern Arkansas County, taking aim on that I-40 corridor just west of Forest City, right through Brinkley, Hazen, Lone Oak, Carlisle, back into Little Rock, and lesser snowfall amounts in western Pulaski County, and then you go out here towards Yale County and just flurries every now and then. The snowfall rates from Fordyce to Pine Bluff and Carthage continues to stay elevated, and they will for several more hours with the precipitation coming up from the south. It's an ice storm south of I-20 and all the way down to I-10 in Louisiana with sleet and freezing rain. But look at this snow way back just east of Dallas. We've got to get all that through Arkansas still, and it will finally move out. Probably around midnight tonight we'll see a big improvement. And I think the snowfall intensity will lessen a little bit before then as well. So there's that moisture coming up. Here's Futurecast 5:30. More of the same. South Arkansas mixing with sleet. This is at 7 o'clock. More snow mixing with sleet across the south. At 11 o'clock, it's still snowing, flurries further towards the west. This looks a lot worse than what will actually happen in northern and western Arkansas. Just light snow there, if anything. But mainly that southeastern one half of the state at 11 o'clock. Then the improvements with leftover snow flurries tomorrow morning for the eastern half of Arkansas. It'll be tough to warm up tomorrow, but I think we'll do it to near 30 degrees. There's that wide swath we've been predicting of 5 to 8 inches with isolated higher amounts. But the corridor of the heaviest snow from I-40 near Brinkley back towards 10 inches in Poen in Grant County. That just came in. They're up to 10 inches of snow. Pine Bluff, 9 inches of snow. You're not even close to finish yet. This is Whitehall from the Arkansas Department of Transportation camera there on 5:30. Just unbelievable there. It's a whiteout. And if we had strong winds, it would be a bona fide blizzard. Thankfully, we do not have that. But we have a winter storm that's just as dangerous, folks. Just do not get out in this. One other thing that we haven't talked much about, when this is all over with, if your car's been outside, get all the snow off the top of your car and your hood. Get it off of that before you start traveling. It'll fly off, and it's extremely dangerous, and it can be deadly to the cars behind you. And spread the word about that. Records are going away. Boy, I tell you, we're making new ones here. It's a record-breaking snow. Little Rock, 6 inches and counting. The record for the day, the daily record, 6.1 inches. I'm sure that's over and done with. We did that. But it is the snowiest February in Little Rock weather history, recorded history. It dates back to the 1870s, the snowiest February. 7-day in February snow record there, 14.5. So this is the snowiest 7-day stretch we have ever seen in Little Rock. And just look outside. So I told my kids this. I said, kids, you're living through weather history this week in terms of the snow and the cold. Our Middleton weather cam, it's snowy with a winter storm warning ongoing till noon tomorrow. Southeastern 1/2, well, we'll call it the southeastern 2/3 of Arkansas, but this is the bullseye right there. From near Brinkley down here towards, it looks like Star City, back towards Arkadelphia, and just south of Little Rock, all this entire area, that's where the most snow will be found when all is said and done. And there's still a lot to go. Let's zoom into that area where you see the dark blues. That's where it's coming down at the rate of 1 to 2 inches per hour. We're looking at some iDrive cameras. Chief Meteorologist Barry Brandt and I up in Russellville. Roads are clear, just cloudy, not even a flake of snow falling. You're probably watching this going, wow, I'm glad I'm not in central Arkansas right now. The roads are absolutely terrible, all the way down to Fordyce. It's an ice storm south of us. But one thing I want you to note here in northeast Texas, see that back edge? It's not moving, which means we still have several more inches to go in the metro. Here's Futurecast.
In by snow on another day of extreme winter weather in Arkansas. Good evening to you. We hope you're someplace safe and warm tonight. This latest system dumping several inches of fresh snow across our state and obviously causing several backups on major roadways. Here off Interstate 40 near Remington Road, the flakes are falling faster than the traffic is moving there, Beth.
That's right. We're on your side tonight with team coverage tracking the latest snowfall, those road conditions, and the potential for power outages. But first, meteorologist Todd Jacobian leads us off tonight with what you need to know right now. Todd.
Beth, we still have several hours of this in central and southern Arkansas. You don't have to go too far away towards the north like Russellville, and it's not even snowing there. But the target area, as we thought, would be just south of I-40 and east of I-30, just southeast of the Little Rock metro area, from Stuttgart to Pine Bluff back towards Arkadelphia. It's an historical snowstorm for that section of the state, and the snow all the way down to the Louisiana border. Like I said, we have several hours to go, and in this zone, final snowfall amounts will be anywhere from 10 to 15 inches, and somebody could come in with an amount even higher than that. Here's a look with Chief Meteorologist Barry Brandt of where we stand right now with what's official on the ground, Barry.
Yeah, Todd, those are going to be easily reached because already some spots in that area you just indicated are approaching or at 10 inches of snow. Here's a look at Poen. This is Poen. 10.2 inches is actually the official. Down in Star City, we're hearing of big totals coming in. We have yet to get confirmation. Near Pine Bluff, 9 inches of snow. Whitehall, near zero visibility at times on the Arkansas Department of Transportation camera there. Camden, Sheridan, 8 inches already. And officially at Little Rock, at the airport, 7.5 inches. But you know, over at the North Little Rock Airport, they've only had 3.5 inches. You don't have to go very far to the southeast to get horrible snow. The worst has been I-40 eastbound. Let's take a look at our Arkansas Department of Transportation iDrive cameras, and look at this. Carlisle looking east, there's a backup. There's something happening there, and there have been numerous backups along that stretch earlier today. There was one over by the White River. Now, let's take a look at the one that we looked at earlier at Remington Road, and Remington Road has been a big problem for hours now. About 3 hours we're looking at that area, and they've got tow truck there. They're trying to pull trucks out off the side of the interstate. There's an ambulance there as well, and those cars back there have been sitting there for a long, long time. Todd?
Well, more history in the making. You're looking live. There's Interstate 630 eastbound right now. They're in West Little Rock. That's the Big Rock interchange going under there. That's why you see some of the bare spots. But this is from our photojournalist, Max Bennett. Travel not advised. It's a dry, powdery snow, which does give you a little traction, but not much. And you're getting to some very deep snow, which makes it even tougher to navigate. And again, that's on 630 heading eastbound out there in West Little Rock. All right, these are the pictures that have been coming in that I want to show you. Pictures. This is 14.5 inches of snow. That's what she says. Keelan Buford sent that in. Don't know exactly where, but somewhere in South Arkansas, I'm sure. Camden, Erica, you see people getting out of their cars and helping their neighbor get out of these huge ruts that have been created. You just can't get any traction. Your tires spin. Neighbors helping neighbors. All right, where are we now in Little Rock? 7.5 inches of snow so far today. That was updated maybe 20 minutes ago. We're probably up to 8 inches by now. 16 inches over the past 7 days. That's a record. It's also the snowiest February Little Rock has ever had in recorded weather history. Yes, the snowiest February, and we just keep adding to it. Also a daily snowfall record. That was 6.1 inches. That's gone. We blew that away. That was back in 1910. 10 inches in Poen, near Pine Bluff, 9 inches, 8 inches in Whitehall, Camden, and Sheridan, 7.5 in Little Rock, and still counting because we're about halfway through this, maybe a little bit more than halfway through this snow. The target area south of I-40, Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, towards Arkadelphia, areas to the south and east, even here in Little Rock. But you go up to North Little Rock,
its way across the state, and it's already causing treacherous road conditions across Arkansas. This is a live look at Interstate 40 near Remington in Lonoke County. That's near exit 169. Traffic there still at a standstill after a series of crashes early this morning.
We'll have more on that story in a moment, but first, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Barry Brandt. As always, all over this forecast. He joins us tonight with what's ahead. Barry?
Well, what's ahead eventually is getting rid of this system, but it has been an overachiever. It has been everything that we build it to be and more. Let's take a look outside right now on our Middleton weather cam, and now as darkness falls, there's still plenty of snow in the Little Rock area. In fact, with today's 7.5 inches so far, and I feel certain that that total is more than that because that was about an hour ago, that is not only a daily record, it's a 7-day record. No 7-day period has ever been that snowy in Little Rock, but 15.9 inches and a February snow record as well. Here's where it's snowing still, and there's still a corridor of snow coming up through the state. You look at Russellville. Has been out of the snow for most of the day, just a few flurries. Lighter snow in Conway. Out west of Hot Springs, it's been lighter. But the corridor of heaviest snowfall, I think 10 to 15 inches is possible eventually from the Little Rock Airport down I-530 to Pine Bluff through Sheridan and Risen over to Stuttgart and in Lonoke and Prairie County, and it's going to continue. Right now, we are at 20 degrees. Our meteorologist, Todd Jacobian, has been watching this all afternoon with me. Todd, does this continue through the evening in Little Rock and in some spots in the States, the snowiest February we've ever had? And we're, just a little over halfway through the month, but it's historic, isn't it? And the kids are going to say, I remember back when it used to snow all the time in Arkansas, right? They're having fun with it anyway. Jennifer Crow and Alexander sent that one in. That's just a lot of fun. And it's really fluffy snow, too. Today, the flakes got bigger. Scott Hollinger from Prattsville sent this one in, and Doug Fuller from Kingsland in South Arkansas sent those big old flakes, and that's going to be an area south of Little Rock that is more favored. In fact, so far, and this is as of about an hour and a half ago, folks, so all these totals are greater, but over 10 inches at Poen. That's new snow. Near Pine Bluff, 9 inches. Whitehall, Camden, Sheridan, 8 inches of snow, and snowing heavily there now. So obviously these totals are going to go up. 7.5 at Little Rock, a daily record for our 7-day period. It's a record for the month of February. We've never had a February this snowy. And again, we've got time to go, but I think it is going to warm up. There is an area, we think, before it's all said and done, from Arkadelphia over through Grant County, through Jefferson County, maybe up to the Little Rock Airport, so southeastern Pulaski County, where we could get 10 to 15 inches of snowfall. Surrounding that, 5 to 10 inches, and then you go to Conway and on up to the north, not as much. This is new snow, again, not what we had the other day, but new snow, and then much less, and it was mainly this morning up in the northwestern part of the state. Here's where that heavy corridor of snow is right now, the back edge, right at Russellville, but the heaviest is still through Grant County, northern Dallas County, through Jefferson, northern Arkansas County, Lonoke and Prairie County, just pounding snow. Now, it's snowing here in Little Rock, but it's not quite as heavy as just down the road a few miles. 7.5 inches of snow at Little Rock at the...
There's a live look on our Middleton weather cam right now, but look at the scenes earlier today, courtesy Charles Peak. The scene over Little Rock is one you don't see very often. It's beautiful if it just didn't cause so many problems. You can see that's the KATV crew pushing one of our employees here, one of our coworkers, out from the snow here at work. But it's beautiful to look at, but I tell you what, it's just not fun to drive around in, that's for sure. And thanks for Charles Peak for bringing that spectacular video. Your pictures, we've had thousands of them, literally, and we're going to show as many as we can. Jeff Henderson, look at the snow fort with the Razorback. Great job. Jerry Adams. Now, Jerry is in his 70s, and he says that he feels like a kid in all of this snow, and he's sledding, taking advantage of it. Thank you so much, Jerry. Allison Hart, kids having fun in the snow. And how about this one from Samantha Johnson? I think her husband is tired. Just look, you see the look on his face? Wow. That snow fort, and the kids love it, but I think he's saying, whew, that was some hard work there. All right, 20.3 inches of snow total this week, and last week we had 1/10 of an inch. Over the last 7 days here in Little Rock. That's the snowiest 7-day period in history. It's the snowiest February, the snowiest month, the third snowiest year, and it's only February. This doesn't count what could fall maybe next December. The fourth snowiest winter. I hate to say this, but there's still time to change that. And the highest snow depth, 15 inches. It ties 1918 for that. How much snow across the state since early this week? A corridor along I-30 right up into Little Rock, 18 to 22 inches of snow, surrounded by 14 to 18 inches, 10 to 14 inches. Remember when everybody said, it's never going to snow here again? That wouldn't be accurate. Let's not see this for a while. This is way too much. There goes the storm system. Skies are going to clear off for some tonight, and as they clear off...
Barry Brandt joins us now with what we can expect tonight and even into the weekend. Barry?
Well, what we can expect is a lot of cold. There's snow all over the ground. It's like having ice laying all over the ground, and then it clears off, and that cold is imparted to the atmosphere. Look at the snow totals, though. We're still totaling them up. The biggest one we've seen, Sulphur Springs in Jefferson County, 17 inches. Sheridan, 15. Malvern, 13. This is new snow, and we'll have the 2-day totals coming up in just a little bit, almost a foot additional here in Little Rock. Now, tonight, we go from the low 30s where we were today quickly down into the 20s. And if it clears, as it appears it might, we're going to head down into the single digits by tomorrow morning. Everything that is slushy or is wet on the roads will not be that way as we head into the after. Beautiful shot of a wintry scene. Boy, was it a wintry scene. Yesterday, I knew snow was piling up. At 6 o'clock, I said it had snowed 7.5 inches. It snowed on up to almost a foot just yesterday. 20.3 when you add the 8.3 or 8.5 that we had before that from last week and earlier this week. So the snowiest month ever in Little Rock, but there were other records. The snowiest 7-day period, the snowiest February, obviously, snowiest month ever, and the third snowiest year, 2021 is, and we're just into 2021. It's the fourth snowiest winter, the December, January, February period, and we've got a few days left in this winter. And the highest snow depth, now I know it snowed 20 inches, but snow tends to compact. The highest snow depth tied with 1918 ever here in Little Rock. And with the two storms, there was overlap from the heaviest band earlier this week to the heaviest band last night, 18 to 22 inches, 14 to 18 surrounding that, 10 to 14. This is both storms and lesser amounts up in the northwestern part of the state. But boy, what a wintry scene. And I think we're all done. Great video and pictures coming in. This is from Deanna Brown in Saline County. There are cows out there having some straw. Oh, I love that shot. Anisha Heckman sent this one in of a giant snowman for her little girls. And that just tells the whole story, doesn't it? The smiles. This is the fun that you should have when you're sledding. Be careful if you're going to be out there, but boy, what fun it was. Forecast temperatures, we go from the upper 20s now, and we'll head down into the single digits, and you notice right there, I think that's a misprint right there on Arkadelphia, but a band of cold because of the depth of the snow there. That really has an effect on the temperatures, but tomorrow we rebound up over 32 degrees, and even overnight lows refreezing tonight, refreezing tomorrow night. It'll be hard ice after the slush. I love snow or hate snow. You've got to admit, this is impressive and unprecedented. Here in Little Rock, we set a record, over 20 inches of snow. We've never had a month that had 20 inches of snow. So the snowiest month ever, and it all occurred in about 4 days. So we were in a corridor of 18 to 22 inches for both of the storms. Remember the storm Sunday, Monday? The highest amount was Little Rock and just northwest. Last night it was Little Rock and just southeast. We were kind of in that overlap zone, though, and so the highest totals for the two storms were in that central part of the state. But everybody got lots of snowfall, even down in southeast Arkansas where you had some sleet and some freezing rain. Lesser amounts over toward the Oklahoma border, but there was still plenty of snowfall there. And in the wake of all of this, What a nice day we had today. We had a few high clouds. Scott Hollinger got this picture tonight and sent it in from Prattsville. Chime in with your best pictures and video. Mary Lou Payne. Now, this is impressive, and I've seen a lot of icicles. You may have one in your house, but very long icicles there. David and Tiffany Dietz built that's a near-perfect snowman. Finally, the snow got packed enough that you could build a snowman. And how about this one from Kelly Diuto in Cabot? High clouds make for a great sunset. And one of my favorite pictures here, or video anyway, Brandon Claypool from Conway, the Conway Country Club down below there, a steep hill, a good sledding hill, and this picture of Riley. Yep, Shelby Bernard sent that in. The first snowfall for her, for sure. Let's talk about our temperatures tonight. We'll go down to around 10 or 11 here. I think in that heavy snowpack area, single digits down in southeast Arkansas. And then as we head into
there's snow everywhere. At least it shrunk a little bit. The railing of my deck here was about this tall with snow. Now it's shrunk down, so there is some melting going on. Let's take a look at what visible satellite imagery looks like. It's always fascinating after snow, and then the sun comes out, because you can see exactly where the snow is. It's over most of the state, but certainly in the eastern counties of the state, Little Rock and eastward, with all the farm fields out there, you can see, yeah, that's not cloud cover, that's snow cover. You can see the clouds moving, but you can also see the rivers in eastern Arkansas cutting through the snowpack there. In South Arkansas, it's timberland that kind of obscures the snow just a little bit, but there's plenty of it out there. Finally, we got above 32 today. We actually got to 34 degrees, and we just slipped into third place of consecutive hours below freezing in Little Rock, and then we got up to 34. So thank goodness that stretch was broken. But this morning we got down to 9. It was much colder than that. Places like Pine Bluff down in the low single digits. The old record was 17. So we broke the record by 8 degrees. Tomorrow morning, I think we'll break the old record by 9 degrees. Yeah, it's going to be another very, very cold night as we head down to 11. And even colder, again, just to the east of town with that thick snow cover. Isabella, Kobe, and Christian in this photo. You can see Christian off in the back there. Boy, they went to some work, didn't they? A beautiful snowman and a snow fort. And Becky Porter sent that one in to us, and Amanda Throckmorton sent this one in of Izzy. He loves some snow, it looks like. Good picture there. Cedria Whitney in Conway got a great winter scene. Yeah, that snow is thick. And Becky Foster from the top of Mount Magazine with just a gorgeous, gorgeous shot. You can chime in always at KATV.com. Forecast highs over the next few days.